Alright, how are we doing today? It's Legit Vocals here, Tyler with the Draw 3 team. I wanted to put out a deck list video for what I did this weekend at the Gen Con Offline Regional for UA. The deck I decided to bring is going to be Green Saitama from One Punch Man. It was kind of a dark horse that I thought some people would bring, but I felt like the way I was playing it was different than others, and with the testing with the Draw 3 team, we found it's favorable into most matchups, and if players aren't ready for what this deck is capable of, it can really take a lot of wins and sweep games by storm. So we'll lay out the list, then I'll talk about cards and interactions and talk about my matchups that I had this weekend. So for our zeros, we are going to have 4 0-drop Genoses. This is the standard draw one, trash one. This is really good because for Saitama, he wants to get enough cards in trash so he can get live. I apologize for the glare ahead of time, guys. I always want to see this 0 or the next 0 in my starting hand. My final 0 I really don't want to see, but I have it to curve out. Our next 0 is going to be the 0-drop King. This is the activate main, pay an AP to draw a card. It's just AP draw on a body. And it's also a raid target for us. So if we're ever in a point that we're like, hey, we need another card, or we don't want to advance our board state, this is a good card. The last one that I'm only playing 3 of is going to be Shiryu. He's a 0-drop 25k, but most importantly, he is a draw trigger. Most of this deck is going to end up being draw triggers because that is part of the game plan. Genos is also a draw trigger, while King is only a get trigger, but he is one of our raid targets, so he is very important to us. We will move to 1-drops. Next is going to be 1-drop King. We're playing 4 of this. This is our 1-drop. When played, look at the top 5 for a King card or a card that costs 6 or more. Add it to your hands, and then you have to discard a card. It's also a draw trigger. You're usually using this to find our bigger combo pieces or to find another copy of himself to keep the searching and start stacking the bottom of our deck so we can guarantee we win in the late game. I'm only playing 2 2-drops, and that is going to be 2 Tank Top Master. This card is no trigger, but it is, when it's active, it's generating extra energy. It just helps curve out, especially if you're going seconds. Then we have our raid target. This is the only raid target in the deck is going to, raid card. This is going to be the 3-drop King Raid. If you haven't read this card before, it is a 3-drop. This character cannot attack or block. 5,000 power double energy generator. As long as it is rated, it generates energy on the front line. When played, you draw a card. You can discard a Saitama, and you can kill anything on your opponent's front line. Activate main, you may rest it, and mill up to 3 cards. This is going to be pivotal for our game plan for how I decide to play the deck this weekend and playing a very go fast strategy. Now, the best 3-drop in the deck is sadly not King, but this card, 3-drop Genos. So this is a 3-drop double energy generator, but if you have Saitama in your deck, it reduces the energy of Saitama's in your hand by 1 green energy. There's also a draw trigger. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our cards are draw triggers, while only 1 card has no trigger. We have a get trigger, but then the raid is technically a raid and a draw trigger because you raid it also draws you a card. So technically we're stacked up on draw triggers. For the color trigger of the deck is going to be the 6-drop Silver Fang. This is when played, when attacking, when blocking. Look at the top card of your deck. You can choose to sideline it, or you can keep it on top. He's a 45 body. This is how we kind of stem aggro and aggression towards us so we can stay alive to do the combo we are. The next card I am playing is 3 of the 7-drop Terrible Tornadoes. They are a double energy 4k, but when played, it lets you add any green character from your trash back to your hand that's not named Terrible Tornado. So it lets us grab anything else in this board besides events. Now, the namesakes of the decks. We are playing 4 of the 15-1 Saitamas. So, little brief thing about Saitamas. Once they're on the board, they cannot be removed by your opponent's effects. They can tap it, they can push it to the energy line, but they cannot remove it from the board. This Saitama, it comes out active. It costs 15, it's a 10k, has damage 7, and then if it is if it ever blocks at the end of the battle, it blocks, it returns back to my hands. But we're really using this for damage 7 and to combo with another card in our deck that requires Saitama. And then we're only playing 2 of the 15-2 Saitama. This is kind of just like the 15-1 Saitama, but this one has impact 3, damage 7. So, and when attacking, you get to just kill one of your opponent's characters. So this always trades for 2 bodies because you go swing, pop the body. That's important. They either block it and take 3 damage, or you hit them for 7. And most of the time, nobody wants to get hit for 7 because that can be the difference between winning the game and immediately losing the game. But it could be the make or breaks. Now we go to our event package. We are playing 4 finals because the playstyle I play this deck is very risky, and the chance that there is a final in your last life, or if you see a lot of finals off all your draw triggers, it does get you there very quickly. I forgot to mention, Silverfang is our color trigger, Terrible Tornado is a draw trigger, the 15-1 Saitama is a draw trigger, the 15-2 is a get trigger. So if we're drawing a lot, we want to be able to extend our play out for the game plan of what this deck wants to do. The special of this deck is King's Engine, because this lets us kill a character on our opponent's board equal to the highest BP on our board. Think like Fishing Rod from Hunter x Hunter. And then if we have a king on board, we can generate extra energy. This is really crucial on like the gimmick I was trying to play around with the deck. And then the last card of the deck that I built the deck around and why I call this deck Serious Punch is Serious Punch itself. I'm playing 4 Serious Punch. It is a card that you cannot use unless you have a Saitama on the board. It costs 12. It gets reduced by 1 cost for every 5 cards in trash, just like Saitama's. You get to choose 1 character on your opponent's front line and 1 character on their energy line, and you get to kill both of them. This card is pivotal for how I want to win and the game plan that we are going to achieve. This was what I try to combo with a 15-1 Saitama instead of a 15-2, because the 15-2 is always going to chip in damage. But how I play this deck is starve. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of our main cards are draw triggers. The raids, if you also want to call those, 7. Literally drawless cards, and that's the majority of our deck. So we want our draw triggers to be mostly in life as much as we can. So by starving, what I mean by that is even if I had a Silverfang in the front line or I have a Genos in the front line, I'm not swinging at my opponents. It's things that it did catch a couple of my opponents off guard this weekend because they would be like, you didn't attack, you missed an attack, and I was like, nope, go ahead, pass the turn. Because life in this game is a resource. Life, most of the time, is a draw trigger, a special trigger, and that was kind of the big reason I decided to bring this deck, is UA sometimes can be very RNG dependent. You can be playing the best to your ability, and you get hit by a special trigger at the wrong time, and that ends up knocking you out of the game. You can get hit by a color trigger that can knock you out of the game. You can hit a draw trigger, and it can draw your opponent to what they need and lets them answer you. So I just wanted to go, okay, I'm going to hit my opponent for 7, and they have to have a final. And 7 cards on their deck, there has to be a final in their life. And if there's not a final in their life, they lose the game. So typical hands that so I'll go over my matchups first. I'll go over my matchups and talk about it and then show you what I was doing. Round 1, I played against a green Kurapika. He did see he saw 2 7-drops and 1 Emperor Time. 2 of the 7-drops killed my King Raids, and 1 Emperor Time killed a Silverfang. But I ended up winning that one. I did go second. Round 2 was my first loss. I played against Yellow Saitama, and I had a crazy hand that was going to allow me to turn 4, put a Saitama on the board, and my opponent went... he went first. He went into Yellow Saitama turn. He played a double energy, and I was like, oh, you're going to play the Saitama? He goes, no, I'm going to do something first. He played a final, which untapped his AP, into a special, killing my King Raid that I raided up early to try and set up a turn for Saitama. And then he played his Saitama, hitting me down to 5. Next turn, I played 2 more King Raids to set up for the Saitama again. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get there if you don't kill me. He just pushes 3 up. He has 5 damage on board. I was hoping one of the 5 triggers to help me. It was 4 draw triggers and 1 color trigger. If the color trigger was one of the first triggers, or if he picked life differently, I would have been able to stay alive in that game. Following the next turn, I would have had Saitama, 2 serious punches, and a special, so I would have been able to take his board out, hit him for damage 7 if he didn't restand the Saitama, and he had no final in his life. He only had Blizzard Raids, and I think 1 active trigger when we looked at it. So it was sad, but the game literally ended in 4 turns. We immediately got deck checked, and it was just funny. Everybody's like, "What'd you do wrong?" I was like, "Nothing. It was just he had the special into Saitama, and then 5 damage killed me." So that was kind of funny to watch that happened. Round 3, I played against one of the friends' wives. She was playing Green GGO from SAO. She, the first Xenon Kirito combo she did, instead of killing one of my kings, she killed a Silverfang, and the impact ended up giving me a 3rd king raid, which let me blow up the Kirito, and then I just had 3 kings on the board, which that's 6 energy on my front line, not including what's my energy line, and milling 9 cards a turn. So I was able to get Saitama online, hit her for victory strike, hit her for damage 7, win that game. Round 4, I'm pretty sure it was a Red Sonic. I could be messed up in my head. If you are watching my video now, your band ID name was Corey W. I think you were on Red Sonic. I remember I did play 1 red player, and I knew all my other rounds, so this is the one I could be hazy on. But I believe he was on Red Sonic. I think it was just a very fast game. I think I won on turn 5, and then we just went next. Round 5, I played against Io. Him and his team were there for both the side events. I lost his teammates in the first side event Thursday when I went 4-1, and then I lost to another one of the teammates in the second side event going 3-2. Oh, no. I didn't play them in the side events. One of my teammates played them. They were playing a pure squad 0 list. He had constant removal, so it was really hard for me to do what I wanted to do. But I ended up getting to a point to where I just filled my front line with Silverfangs and said, show me. I was at 1 life. I had about 5 cards in deck. I put all my Silverfangs in the front and like other chump bodies. And I needed to find a Saitama. And I said, hey, show me a Senjumaru to kill one of my bodies. You have 4 swings to my 3 bodies. You can kill me. Thankfully, he didn't have the shrine out, or not shrine, but stage, the squad 0-1, so they could just keep getting cards. And he wasn't finding a Senjumaru raid, so he was trying to trying to push for damage. I was just blocking out. I finally found Saitamas, but they were the 15-1s, so I was playing 15-1s, swinging at him to try and hit him for damage 7 finally. He was just blocking out, but then he was swinging. I'd had to bounce the Saitamas back to my hands. Thankfully, I found a 15-2 Saitama, and I started hitting him for Impact 3. I killed 2 of his bodies, hit him for Impact 3. He went down to 4. Then I swung Silverfang 1 time, because I wanted to put him at 3 so the 15-2 could get there. He took it. He went down to 3 life. I have 2 cards left in my deck. He goes... No, I have 1 card left in my deck. No, I have 2. I have 2 cards left in deck. He goes, swing the 4-drop Ichibei, call 7, flip the top card of his deck, showed me it was a final. So I know there's a final on top of his deck, but he only has 3 life. So I'm like, as long as there's not a final in his life, I should win next turn. So I play out the 15-1s again, and my board now is a Silverfang, a 15-1 Saitama, a 15-1 Saitama, and a 15-2 Saitama, and I have 1 card in my deck. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to swings, he blocks, and then I swing the Saitama for the Impact 3, and it, lo and behold, in the last 3 cards of his deck, there is a final. So he finals and puts a final into his life. So I know he has a final and he can't die again. I have no more swings because I had to use his board. He goes to his turn, tries to push, and he's just praying that he can see the final that he has currently in life, can see the 4th final on top of his deck, but he has no idea where it is because we only saw 2 in trash. We know 1's in life now, and the last one we didn't know if it was still in his deck or if he's even seen it yet. So I go for the same line where I just take the 15-2. I swing. Well, first I swung a Saitama, said, hey, give me a body. He said, sure. Then I swung another Saitama, give me a body. So now he was down to one body after that. So then I swung the 15, killed the body. So he had to take the damage. He flipped it. It was the final that we knew. He healed, but it was just an active trigger. So the last Silverfang gets there and wins us the game. And I won that game with no cards in deck. It was very close. Like, literally, if he saw the fourth final there, he just goes, cool, pass, I lose the game. It was a very close game. I think that was one of my toughest matchups going forward. I was really happy with like how he played, because I think it would be night and day different if he would have saw stage. He saw stage, that game was totally different. Round 6, I played against a blue JJK Sukuna package. Neither one of us got to play the game till really, well, not really. I got to play the game fully. I was king rated. I had everything. I literally I had turn 4. I had I was like 14 energy, but I had the special in my hand. I literally needed a Saitama in hand so I could start doing things. I had 2 king raids on board, like, because he hit me. I had 2 king raids on board because of king out of life. Like, I was ready to Saitama. I just didn't have a Saitama. Where he was playing blue JJK and he was finding everything besides Yuji's. So he was just raw playing Sukuna raids out and stuff like that, so he could have something. And then at turn 4, he played his first Yuji. My turn 5, I played my first Sukuna. And then, thankfully, Saitama. Thankfully, Saitama's more impactful than a Yuji. He did delay me a little bit, though, because he did end up using the Yuji raid to bounce a Silverfang to my hand and a King raid to my hands. So I just like lost those off the board, but then it was fine where I was. But yeah, that was a really weird game that neither one of us really played the game. Like, we were both missing pieces. I was missing Saitama, he was missing Yuji's. I feel like if he would have saw Yuji's, I probably would have died a whole lot faster because he had a whole bunch of Sukunas. So I was X1 up to this point. So I needed 2 more wins to guarantee top 8 for prizing, and at least guarantee top 16 for my invite. And this is where I made a big mistake against a deck that I usually don't fear. I played against the 1 purple Toto of the day, and my board ended up looking something like this. King Genos. And then I had 2 king raids up here, right? And both of these are rated. So this is on the end of my 3 AP turn, right? I had this. My hand had specials and stuff. Like, this is a very greedy line I went for to try and do stuff. And I curved out the rest of the turn by playing a Vanilla King here. Because I played the Vanilla King here because that was how I curved out my energy, because I was only at 6 and I wanted to go up, and I didn't want to use the special yet because I couldn't Saitama yet. So I did this, and this costed me the game is what I'll say. He goes Toto raid and he swaps this with this. So now this can't attack or block, and it doesn't generate energy because I didn't raid it, where this one I could just push up. I could have just passed with 1 AP up. So if he Toto raids and swaps this with this, I literally can just block the damage too. The 2 life ends up mattering because we play the game out, and I end up getting to Saitama him, and literally he takes it, and there is a final in his life. If the final was not in his life, I would have won, but there was a final, which allowed him to then go Toto, switch the Saitama with somebody else, and then Mechamaru kill it while I was at 3 life. Toto hits me for 2, Mechamaru hits me for 1. The game ended. I was a little sad there, but I feel like I played the line for the deck to do what I wanted it to do, and I just got punished for playing the greedy line, which I was playing the greedy line all day today. I didn't do it. And then, sadly enough, round 8 was a team kill against Lullaby Anto, another member of Draw 3. I knew his list. I knew he was playing. He knew what I was playing. We said, let's play it out. We played out. He never saw a double energy. I was live turn 5, and I said, hey, here's a Saitama. Swing for the fences. And he lost. And literally, the sad thing is, literally, the next card he needed was a double energy. And if he would have seen it one card sooner, I would have lost my board. He had enough finals, and he could have cleared my whole board, and I would have been on the back foot. But the greedy line paid off, and I was able to get there. Now, that was my matchups. And like I said, I went X2. I literally got 30 seconds. X2, there was a couple X2s that made it into top 16. I know there's some other X2s that also should have made top 16. And overall, I'm not mad with my performance. I'm happy to see how the deck performed. It did what I wanted it to do. People were thinking I was going to play the slow race, and it was not that at all. Typical things I do with this deck is I go King 0 into King 1, and you're using this King to either look for a King Raid if you have it. If it doesn't have a King Raid, you grab the King Raid. If it does have the King Raid, you're looking for Saitamas. Preferably, you want one of these in hand. You don't want to discard this to the King. The King, you're always wanting to discard these 15 twos. These are just discard fodder. You only ever use this Saitama to close out games, like in the situation where I played Squad 0 and like I was on a clock. I was going to deck out, so I need to start chipping the damage through. You always want to hit your opponent for 7. So on a typical, like, and this is all just for clarification, just so everybody knows, this deck, I built it to high roll my opponents. This deck is not like meant to just go, hey, I'm always good. I am flipping a coin and saying, hey, I'm going to high roll you, and if I brick, I've lost the game, and if I high rolled you, there's nothing you can do about it. We're hoping to see multiple finals. We're hoping King Raids draw us into perfect curves. So this is usually turn 1. Turn 2, I'm usually going to play the Tank Top Master right away into a final, praying that my opponent's not about to punish me for what I do. Then I go into the King Raid. I go, cool. So we go into King Raid, so we still have 1 AP left. We're hoping King maybe draws us another final, right? In La World, King draws us another final. Or we mill King, we mill Saitamas. These Saitamas draw us finals, right? Because we're going to go through our deck a lot. So we play a final. Now we have 2 AP again, and you literally, if you're keeping the greedy hands I was, any hand that usually had Genoses and 0s, I kept it. So then you play double Genos here. Alright, this is our second turn, right? This is turn 2. Turn 2, I am showing my opponent 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I am 4 away from a Saitama already. And that's not including these 2 finals are in trash, and I milled 3. So that's 3. Plus I probably discarded a Saitama off this. So that's 6. So we're actually 3 away from a Saitama. Then our opponent's probably going to hit us. We're probably going to have draw triggers, right? So that's 2 more cards in bin. And a draw trigger, so we have more cards in our hand. So literally next turn, it is just find another King Raid. We're 3 away. This puts us down to 2. And if we discard a Saitama, that puts us there. And then we do this. This mills us 6. 1 puts us 1 away. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That means we're live for Saitama. This is turn 3, and we're live for Saitama. Statistically, I'm trying to do this on turn 4, but turn 3, this is what could happen because your opponent could also hit this out of first life or second life and give you the King Raid. The only part of this that's like you probably won't have it is probably the double Genos. But consistently getting 2 King Raids early could happen. And then the Tank Top Master is also the iffy one. This can usually be a 1 energy, but if this is a 1 energy, right, we're just 1 energy away. And we've only tapped 1 AP here. Remember, this is turn 3. We've only tapped 1 AP here. So literally I just tap 1. I play another body. The Saitama is now live. And then boom, if I have the Saitama, or it doesn't even have to be this, it can literally just be the Tornado. Grab the Saitama you ditched, put it up, because even if you lose the 1 from the energy, you're gaining 2. So you just grab the Saitama, play it, because these generate energy, and you're live. So that's a turn 3, but most of the time the reason why I don't say this deck can do it turn 3, your opponent's going to kill the first king. Like, this king usually dies. But if your opponent doesn't kill this, you are going to consistently turn 3, turn 4, not consistently turn 3, but consistently turn 4, turn 5, you're showing your opponent Saitama into either specials or with serious punches we built the deck around. The reason why I'm playing 4 is usually 2 of them are in life. And I need this because when we're playing the game of I'm going to take my life, being able to take your opponent off of energy is what keeps you back in the game and lets Saitama keep putting the nail in the coffin to hit people. But you're statistically like turn 4, turn 5, Saitama's on the board. If you're lucky with the finals, how I said, you can do it turn 3. Turn 3, you can show your opponent Saitama and be like, hey, I don't think you're ready for this. Lose the game. And even if they remove this, you just choose not to block. You take greedy life and you're just like, hey, 7. Hey, 7. Because if you ever draw into these and you have enough energy, you just start clearing their board. You draw into your specials, you start clearing their board. If they kill the kings, you got it. We're just going to keep playing the game to get rid of you. So it's really, the name of the game is greedy keeps. Like, I keep very greedy hands with this deck, and if I get punished, I get punished. But we have a saying in Draw 3 that we're never punished now after this weekend, because a lot of us had a lot of interactions where we kept very greedy hands. 2 of my games, I will say, it was against the Blue Blue JJK, and then the Green Kurapika. I had no zeros in my starting hand, but I had the 1-drop kings. I had the 1-drop kings, and I had Genoses. So I kept them, and I said, we're going to roll the dice. And the dice rolled, and the dice said, here's a 0. Because I always choose to go second, because we're starving our opponents, and I don't want to give them that extra card in their hand to try and deal with my board to answer what I'm trying to do. So that is why I usually take second. And it also gives us an extra card when we're trying to do these combos with finals or multiple king raids and stuff like that. Now, if you want my honest opinion playing this deck, if you're going to play it, you have to be okay with, like, winning and losing off of luck. Like, I keep very greedy hands, and I go, hey, the deck will bail me out. And if the deck doesn't bail me out, well, then I lost. Like, the line I did against the Toto player. I played that king, and I said, hey, if you have Toto and pull this up, then you have it. If you don't have it, any other matchup, I do that because they're not Toto and they can't grab this. I kill them the following turn because I have the double energy back here, and then I have the 2 in the front. Like, I literally just go for the game there. So, it's just, you have to, if you're looking to play this deck like the way I played it, you play extremely greedy. That is just what I can tell you. Play extremely greedy. Still, getting 32nd, going X2, I'm happy with the performance. I think I probably won't play this deck again at Regionals, only because there's a lot of factors that I don't want to deal with going forward, because come AOT, Red Rush is a thing. Levi swinging 3 times a turn is a thing. Soon we're going to have Kenshin and Nikke. Like, we're getting a lot of sets come out that can go low to the ground and go fast. Red AOT is mostly like what I'm scared of. Like, fast decks or decks that can show me more swings early on than like possible. Like, if I would have saw there's one Red Ashford that made top 16. If I would have saw him, he probably would have ran me down because he just goes faster than I can deal with it. But overall, that is the deck. That is what I'm happy with, and I am very pleased with how Saitama did this event, and I probably will keep the deck around for like fun tournaments or to like see how it does in the meta. But overall, I think this is the end of my Saitama arc. I think Serious Punch had its fun, and overall, I really enjoyed it. I look forward to Dallas and seeing what people are playing there again. I'm looking forward to see what everybody does. If you saw me at Gen Con, it was great meeting you guys. I hope you guys did get some D3 dice. If you didn't, we'll have more to give out in the future, and we'll have other stuff coming out for people. But yeah, that's the deck. And I know you may say it's impossible to do a turn 4 Saitama, but if your opponent doesn't kill a king and you have enough double energy generators, you can get there. You just have to play extremely greedy is what I'll tell you. Like, just play extremely greedy. But if your locals start knowing that you're doing this, the players are just going to go keep hands that have a lot of zeros. They'll go turn 1, play a 0. Turn 2, push it up, play 2 more zeros. Swing. Next turn, they're going to push these up. And they're going to play 3 more zeros in the back, or 0, 1, and 2. And they're just going to try and, like, Weenie Hut rush you to death. So that's my advice to you. And how do you play against that? You pray for King Raids in life and King Raids early so you can kill your stuff. Because if you have a slow hand, then you'll lose the game. I'm not saying every game you will Saitama on turn 4, but I'm saying if you play it enough and you figure out like what greedy hands you can keep and what greedy hands you probably shouldn't keep, because that costed me some games. I'll talk about the side events real quick, I guess. Side events for Thursday for the first prize card. I went 4-1. I lost to a Purple Squad 0 player who never do this in tournament. He presented his deck and I presented mine. He went tap. I went tap because I was on my high horse. I was feeling really good. And he proceeded to play 0 drop, 1 drop, stage, and every time he tapped these stages, it was going Baby Senjumaru, Raid Senjumaru. Next turn, tap Baby Senjumaru, Raid Senjumaru. By turn 4, I already knew that he had 4 Senju raids in hand. He hit me with 1 Ichigo raid to kill a chump blocker. He hit me with 3 specials, and then he also played all 4 finals. So literally, by turn 4, I was hit with 5 raids, 3 specials, and 4 finals to just keep extending in my jaw and just fill his board up. I told myself from that day forward, I will never, even if I feel like I'm on my high horse, I will never tap my opponent's deck. Saturday side event, I went 3-2. The first game I lost, I played against a blue Sukuna player. His name's Aaron. Apparently he gets extremely lucky. He had exactly 4 energy in the back line. He goes... I go 7. He goes take. He has a final, Sukuna raid, and 2 draw triggers. He goes draw, Sukuna raid, raid on the back line. Draw some cards. Final. And then drew for turn. The draw for turn was Sukuna's Shrine. Oh, by the way, turn 3, he had all 4 fingers in the bend. So this Shrine now is giving impact, damage to, and snipe. My board was Saitama. Where's the rest? Saitama. Keep in mind, I AP extended this turn because I was like, you're dead if you don't see a final. Because I needed to kill everything on his board so he couldn't pressure me. And a king. And this is where it really sucks because he literally just goes, play a card, play Shrine. Well, he pushed Sukuna up, play a card, play 2 cards, play Shrine. And then since the Sukuna's pushed up, he has all 4 fingers. It's 5k of impact. I had 2 life. All 4 of my finals are in trash. He goes snipe into the king, hits my 2 life, I lose the game. Like, literally, his out was literally to see the 1 Shrine in his deck, and he saw it. So I lost that game. And then me keeping a greedy hand for the second game that I played, my energy line looked like this, and this. Like, just 2 0 drops is what I'll say. My hand was Saitama, Serious Punch, 2 sevens, and 2 sixes. I end up discarding, so even if this is more than 8, but my hand looked like this. It was all my top end, and then I was doing this to mill to hopefully get some draw triggers off Saitama, or to hopefully find something. But she went Senjumaru special, killed my king. My energy was now this, and I was only drawing top end, so I had no way back in that game. So she won the game before I could figure out how to dig myself out of a hole I got put in. But she was really fun to play against, and like she was a very nice person. So, but I went 3-2. I wasn't beat up. The fact that I was already X1, I was like, it's whatever. It happens. Better luck next time. And then we did do better. We went to the regional and we went X2 and we got top 32. So I feel like this deck is a good X2 deck. I do not think this deck is a good X1 or winning a whole regional deck. I think it is good. You can maybe get your invite. Like, I could have got my invite if my tiebreakers were better. If it's something you already play, take a look at it. Like, I know things people consider is not playing the Serious Punch. You play the Protection Silverfang, so if they want to target your King Raid or stuff like that, they have to discard an extra card, which could come up. And Moomin Rider. Like, people are on Moomin Rider. My goal of the deck is to go faster than you. It's a race from turn 1. It's, can I get to damage 7 before you can do 7 damage? It's who can do 7 first, and that's really what I'm trying to do with this deck. But overall, that's my take on Green Saitama, aka Serious Punch. Stay tuned for the next deck I will be playing for a while to see how it does. Until then, I'm signing off, taking a break. I need to get some rest after these long Gen Con days.